Welcome to this full moon energy, and lovers of the tarot, and all you witchy folk out there that are enjoying this time of guidance. I received this 4 card reading, which I just looked over with a lovely group of people, and we dived into it and shared some ideas about it on a live that I do once every month. So if you want to join in next month, just drop me a line, and I'll put you on that mailing list, and we can come and talk live and share live. The first of these cards, and this card is a reading about our mind, and it's got 3 of the 4 cards are swords, and the first one is the ace reversed, and 3 of these 4 cards are also reversed. So there's a little bit of twisting, there's a little bit of questioning that this reading is asking us to do in order to find the clarity that it really wants us to focus on. So let's just dive into what this message may be speaking to us about. First of all, this is a gift. It's a gift from God. It's a gift from the divine. It's a gift from Source, saying, hey, look, this is a sword. This is your sword. This is a sword that you have come here to hold on to. It's a truth that you have come here to communicate and share with the world. Are you grabbing this sword? Are you using your mind and sharing your truth to the highest degree? Are you holding on to the beliefs? Are you living the truths that you actually do believe in? Or do you believe in the right truths, and are you believing in the wrong truths and living out those? It's a card which brings up a whole bunch of questions. It's a card which is questioning what fears we might have about thinking things differently, about believing in ourselves in a slightly different way. Here are all the 4 cards in this reading. And so we have the 6 of Swords, we have and the 3 of Cups reversed, these 2 cards together, speaking about a journey that we are consciously taking ourselves to, moving from one way of thinking to another way of thinking, which is very much orientated around the shift that we might need to make in order to learn to celebrate properly and to feel properly the celebration of life that we might be having challenges feeling, or we might have some inner resistance in embracing, and all of which will help us understand maybe a slightly twisted relationship between what we think is good and bad, what we think is right and wrong, what we think is winning and what we think is losing, what we think is better or what we think is worse. Now, I was just speaking to this group of people, and we were speaking about better and worse, and how one man's truth is another woman's false or lie. And this is the case, and our truth today is going to be different from our truth tomorrow, as our truth 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago is different than our truth today. And it's not that the truth isn't something that we can hold on to. The sword isn't something that we can use. We can use it and we can hold on to it, but it's always going to reflect different colors. It's always going to reflect different ideas and different versions of ourselves. That doesn't make the truths that we hold on to less true. It just means that they are transitory, like everything else in nature. Our body is completely in transition all the time, to the point where I think it's one every 7 years our cells just, our whole body is new cells, new everything. And in a similar way, our mind is in a continuous stage or level of, or process of growing, of changing, of evolving. And this evolution is something that doesn't mean that there'll be one truth which will hold us which we can hold on to forever. But there are certain stories which are going to be more uniting, and there are certain truths which are going to connect us to our spirit, can connect us to a higher vibrational energy. And some of these truths, some of these ideas, and some of the expression of our mind and the way we think is available for us right here, right now. And it's this reading and these cards and this reversed ace, it always makes me question. It always makes me throw some questions and say, how am I resisting what is obviously a higher way of thinking? What am I believing in that's making me afraid to embody or to share a different truth? Do I believe that I'm good enough? Do I believe that what I'm doing is right in my life? Am I judging myself? And is my self-judgment or my inner resistance to seeing how, or a different way or a different perspective of what's going on? And this perspective change that the Six of Swords speaks about, this moving from one way of thinking to another way, one way of seeing ourselves, one way of seeing our lives, to another way of seeing our lives, has a lot to do with this celebration story and how we may well be resisting what would be a healthy celebration. And I was looking at this card, and I was just seeing how sometimes we celebrate the wrong things. Sometimes we'll go out and celebrate for celebration's sake. Sometimes we'll just go and let go, let loose, have some fun, which is fantastic and great. But we'll normally tell ourselves that we can only do this in this type of environment, maybe after that many drinks, and maybe with only these type of people. And if I can't do it there, then I won't be able to have that fun space. Well, we don't need any drinks. We don't need any special people, even though special people will enhance this experience. But we do need to learn how we can change our mind about life so that we can celebrate everything. So that we can celebrate our failures, so that we can raise our glasses to our losses, so that we can really appreciate every aspect of our lives. Our mind has a wonderful tendency to judge what's wrong in this world and to see how much of a loser life is, or we are in life, and seeing what we lack and seeing how bad that is that we lack it, or we'll see how bad that is that those people lack it, or these other people lack it over there, and we'll focus on this negative and we'll forget to celebrate. It's very easy to see many different manifestations of shadow in this world. It's very easy to see those manifestations of shadow inside of our own lives, even though we might be quite well practiced at not seeing that. It is actually quite easy for us to see. But it's very difficult. We don't have the tendency to celebrate everything. We don't have the tendency to choose to elevate our emotional awareness by choice and practice being grateful. Not just, I'm grateful for this, but grateful like, wow, this is amazing. This is fantastic. What's fantastic? Well, the fact that I can get out of bed and have a cup of coffee or tea in the morning. No, it's not. That's just normal. Yeah. Why don't we celebrate the normal? Why don't we celebrate the small things that we have, and also recognize that some of those small things are actually bigger than you think? Some of the truths that we overlook and we take for granted have stopped us from being able to really feel connected to divine gratitude and divine joy. The joy that comes from recognizing the beauty that there is outside of our window, whatever that might look like, in whoever that might look like. The joy that comes from being able to recognize that and even get together and go, wow, did you see that over there? Isn't that amazing? No, somebody else, you might look at it and you might say, no, it's just normal. No, that's divine amazingness right out there in front of our faces. Look at that. Yeah, you're right, it is, isn't it? If you look at it from this perspective, this is God's perspective. If you twist your head and look at that same thing, can you see how perfect it is? Can you see how amazing it is? If you twist yourself a little bit and look in the mirror, can you see how perfect you are? Can you see how many different things that there are going on in your life that are excuses to celebrate, are excuses to feel so amazingly grateful for how much abundance and beauty and joy you've got going on in your life? Can you see that? Can you feel it? Because this reading is about taking ourselves there, actively taking ourselves across the ocean to start to recognize what maybe this process includes a little bit of questioning, like the questioning, hey, why am I afraid to celebrate life like a joyful young woman in this picture? Why can't I do that? Why can't I just get up and just say, hey, wow, this is amazing? Why can't I grab my friends and just celebrate our existence? And it might seem naive, it might seem childish, it might seem like I'm asking you to step outside of just normal reality where there's pain and confusion and doubt and conflict everywhere. Yes, there is. There's lots of that. The thing is, we're very good at seeing that. We're very good at recognizing it. We're very good at sometimes being attached to seeing it and looking for it everywhere. And this is a reading which is saying, hey, it's time to align our minds, our bodies, consequently our emotional state, with what is more focused on heart, what is more connected to what would be a divine uplifting way of thinking. And this divine uplifting way of thinking is always going to, or not always, but let's imagine it all ending in some form of joyful celebration for who we are, and how that joyful celebration starts with a tiny bit of appreciation and ends with the raising of a cup and the grabbing of a friend and the communicating of our truth in a way which is fearless and beautiful and honest and vulnerable and naked. And let's share some of that honesty in the name of the highest version of ourselves that we have come here to embody. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic full moon period. It's going to be for a few days, and it could be beautiful and powerful for you at the same time. Have a great day. Love to hear your comments.